Alright, how's it going, guys? My name is Matthew, and I'm here for, I guess, it's pretty much a very similar thing to what I did the last video. Last one was an OU RMT, the Dedenne God Squad. Yeah. So this one's a little bit more like quote unquote standard. By my standards of standard, I suppose. Like, it's not. If it doesn't have some dank memes on it, then it's not a team that I've made, basically. So this team is really fun. I've really been enjoying it. It's actually a really old team, because I stopped playing, it's a PU team. I stopped playing PU before they dropped Cacturn. I think I was around when they dropped Pelipper, but before they dropped Cacturn, Muff, and pretty much those two. There might have been a third thing, but those are the two. Oh, Rotom Fan. Those are the three things that I was not in the meta for. So I hadn't really adjusted the team to account for those things. Also, back when I played, Machoke was still like everywhere. I guess they banned that. Finally, I guess. Like, I don't know. The PU people had been bitching about Chatter being OP for ages, and but they seem to like just love Dynamic Punch with Machoke. So I don't know. It seems like a bit of a double standard right there, but you know, when Machoke can counter Clefairy, you know what I'm saying? There's something wrong. But anyways, I don't know. Back when I played, you needed a Machoke check counter slash both of those two on every team. So yeah, hadn't adjusted since then. So it's a little bit of an old team, and I've made adjustments as I've been playing, so that's bringing it back, and I've been coming back into the PU meta. I've been really enjoying the PU meta. PU is like such a fun tier. It's definitely one of my favorite tiers of all time. If not my favorite tier. It's such a fun tier. But I'll go over the team kind of quickly. I won't go into the full RMT. Like before, I'll link the RMT for anyone who's interested. You know, go slam that thumbs up button, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, I don't know. Go check it out, just because it's kind of fun. It's a really fun team. You'll get my justifications for why I use certain things and why I use certain sets, and a bunch of damage calcs for some stuff. So I don't know, it's pretty fun. I always like team building, and I always like posting stuff on RMT, and that's basically what I'm doing. Team building is one of my favorite parts of Pokemon, and yeah. So I built the team around Baynet. Like I said, I won't go into the full justification, but I'll just show the sets. So using, did you know Phantom Force, no item, hits as hard as Shadow Claw with a Life Orb? Same damage. If you put it in damage calc, same damage. That shows how piss weak Shadow Claw is. Don't use Shadow Claw Beta, it's garbage. If you don't want to run Phantom Force because you're not like you don't want the gimmicky set like me, run Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot does more damage than Shadow Claw. I don't like there's all these sets that are recommended for Baynet, and they all have Shadow Claw. It all makes me shake my head because Shadow Claw is weaker than Gunk Shot. Life Orb Shadow Claw hits as hard as non-Life Orb, no item Phantom Force. So sigh, shaking my head right there. But anyways, we've got a pretty fun Baynet set with a little bit of an investment into the HP for a few specific kind of defensive things, so you can maintain sub on them. Also, Monferno can't knock you out with Flare Blitz, which is, I guess, pretty cool, because you kill it with Gunk Shot back, which is pretty interesting. Even Life Orb Monferno you tank, so that's a pretty fun set with Wisp, and it's kind of to make like use of Baynet's two hardest hitting attack moves, being Gunk Shot and Phantom Force. And kind of the idea with the set is, like, there's no normal type in the entire tier that wants to benefits from a free switch in to Baynet when he's behind a sub. If you're behind a sub with Baynet and you go for Phantom Force, and they switch in their normal type, they haven't really gained much initiative, because Baynet, like, beats every normal type that wants to switch in. Like, something like Stoutland has to take a burn, and if you're letting your Stoutland take a burn, that's not very good. I mean, it'll get Facade, but like, I've got Mawile on this team, so it's not really something I care about. A lot of normal types just like die to Gunk Shot after like rocks and stuff, and most defensive most defensive normal types just can't even break Bayonet sub once you burn it, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Hey, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? We've got a Grumpig. Let's see right here. Cultivator Grumpig. This was my Machoke. One of my Machoke count checks slash counters for back in the day when Machoke was everywhere. But now it serves nicely to kind of lure stuff like Mawile, Ponyard, and Cacturn. Now that those things are in the tier. It's also nice, I guess, to hit Muck super effectively. The team, I've been wanting to switch Grumpig for something that can hit bulky water types, because the team struggles a little bit against bulky water types. And by a little bit, I mean probably a little bit more than a little bit, I suppose you could say. Yeah, so I was considering switching Grumpig for something that can hit water types, bulky water types, like, I don't know, Tangela, I suppose, but I lose a lot of offensive presence. Maybe, what's it called, Electrode, because I can still keep the taunt, but then I'd lose a little bit of bulk that I kind of want, and, yeah, so that's basically my thought process was, I'm considering it. We've got a Specs float, so it was Life Orb, it's Specs now because I've been having a lot of trouble with stall, so it's Specs Switcheroo, and it works out very, very nicely right now. Dropping Focus Blast isn't that big, I barely even notice it, but having the Switcheroo is huge for a lot of matchups that are just heavy stall. Fizz Def Mawile, it's really nice, paired with kind of Fizz Def Vibrava, and a specially defensive Fairy as kind of a defensive core, working out pretty nicely. The speed on Vibrava is for, what is it? Stuff like Mawile, and Ponyard. Mawile and Ponyard, I believe, yeah. Enough speed for. I mean, I think it's Adamant Ponyard. I can't remember because I made this a while ago, but I know for sure you outspeed Mawile, which is the main thing. My team's so weak to it. But Ponyard can't 2-hit KO, which is pretty nice. I guess another thing to mention is I am Ironhead because now that Machoke is here, Play Rough is a little bit less necessary. Now that Muck is here, Ironhead is a little bit more necessary, and I already have an Arbok check with Vibrava. So I do have Ironhead over Play Rough, and I have Swords Dance. It was recommended by someone on the RMT that I use a Swords Dance Baton Pass. I already had Baton Pass, but Swords Dance actually seems like a really, really cool idea. Another thing I might switch out Grumpig for is another like Swords Dance Baton Pass recipient, because right now it's just into Bayonet, and like Bayonet will benefit if you Thunder Waved everything, but other than that, Bayonet, can't really sweep per se, but it's still pretty fun. I do like the set. It's a really fun team, and then I'm pretty sure I've been testing with Wish and I've been testing with Heal Bell, so it's a little bit back and forth. But either way, Clefairy's just a Dawn. So I mean, there's a lot of things that are threatening to the team, like Ponyard and Mawile are both very scary. Sub-Calm Mind Pokemon are really scary because I don't have the offensive presence to threaten them enough, and if they get a sub up, I can't switcheroo them, so those things are a little bit scary. Things that could potentially be scary are, well, bulky waters, like I'd mentioned, to an extent. Marowak is good against like any like balanced team, I suppose, like because it just kills everything. Licky was a bit of an issue, but I mean, now that I have switcheroo, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. Physically offensive Floatzel, that thing's threatening to my team. That thing's, I have to be very careful around that thing. And then just taunt users in general, so like Misdreavus and Grumpig. They're not really that threatening because I do have the Clefairy as my as a switch in, and then I deal damage to them. And I mean, I get taunted, and then I switch out. I don't know. They can be threatening if I screw around with them. And then rest Calm Mind users as well. I'd be a little bit iffy with those as well. Like I said, I do have the switcheroo. I'm switcherooing Specs though, so they get a couple Calm Minds, and then I give them Specs. Not always ideal. I mean, Clefairy's fat, but like, if you give Specs to like a +4 Pokemon, Clefairy's not that good. And then things are just kind of threatening, or just kind of fat things that like Camerupt is like Camerupt heals on Clefairy, and like it's hard. Like my switch in is like Floatzel, right? Floatzel is going to switch into this, but like Floatzel can't switch in like too many times because Floatzel doesn't have that much bulk in general, right? And like I don't know, like Clefairy heals, like Clefairy can't do anything to Camera Up can't do anything back, but when I have Wish, Camera Up isn't really an issue because I just Wish Pass into Floatzel, and then Camera Up, the damage it does to Floatzel is like negated. Same for Vibrava, stuff like passing to Vibrava. If I have Heal Bell, it's nice for Vibrava because I can get rid of the burn. I don't know, it's a mix-up, like Camera Up, if I have Heal Bell, the Vibrava is a decent switch-in. If I have Wish, Floatzel is a decent switch-in, so it's a bit iffy. Lapras is just really fat, I suppose, as well, is another thing to mention. Bulky Waters is just what that goes into. Rotom can trick Clefairy, so I always have to be careful with that. Electric types in general, just because Clefairy is my premier switch-in to electric types, and if Clefairy switches into Volt Switch and doesn't have an opportunity to heal, and then switches into Volt Switch, it doesn't have an opportunity to heal again, and it's like specs damage they're taking, then eventually Clefairy's gonna get worn down to the point where I can't just hard switch into Volt Switch anymore. So that's a little bit of a thing. Life Orb Monferno can be a little bit threatening as well, just because Vibrava is like not very good. Basically, Vibrava's okay, but like Vibrava doesn't like switching into like Life Orb close combat. Let's be real here. I'm pretty sure Vibrava lives +2 a Violite close combat from Monferno, and that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can't complain about that. I suppose. So potentially an issue. And +2 Mach Punch doesn't kill Floatzel after rocks either. So, or no, +2 kills after rocks. What am I saying? +2 kills after rocks. +1 doesn't kill after rocks. So with Intimidate and with just not having rocks up, I can check Swords Dance as well, I suppose. But anyways, that's the team. Like I said, I'll link the RMT, and I want to go over a few replays, a few good replays that I kind of pulled up, just because they kind of go over things on the team that kind of showcase how I respond to certain things on the team that are threatening, and how I play around things, and just my thought process using the team. Because I don't know, that's like when you do an RMT, you can't, like when you do like an RMT, like a written out RMT, you can't really go over your thought process for specific moves and specific situations. But in replays, I can actually say out loud and actually go over specific things and go over why I do specific things, and I think that's what makes like a video RMT have a little bit of a different side than just reading out the RMT, I suppose, to an extent. Yeah, I'll probably have at the very beginning a thing to skip to if you want to just watch the replays. So if you did skip to that, you're probably just getting to this part now. So yeah, I'll get right into the replays. What is up, Hariyama Alert Nation? I'm your host, Dazzling Gleamstar. Let's get right into the replays. So that probably sounded really stupid, but you know what? With the name that I have, oh shoot, I have Dazzling Gleamstar on both sides. Okay, there we go. With the nickname, that I made, I thought I may as well at one point in my life do that as an introduction to something. Not very much talking I'm gonna do right here before. Just gonna explain what I'm doing. I'm doing replays, a couple of replays like it mentioned previously. These are to showcase a few things for the team. Some of them is just to showcase the kind of defensive core of the team. If they're too stally, then I'll just like skip. I'll try to only put like the good ones up here, the ones that are entertaining to watch, in my opinion, because the team is like, it's like balance, and then you have semi-stall, and it's closer to the edge of balance, I would say, but it is kind of in the spectrum there. It's not specifically balanced, it's not specifically semi-stall. I wouldn't call it semi-stall, but it's within the spectrum of those two, I would say. So sometimes you have really stally games, and then sometimes you have more offensive games, It really comes down to defensive. It really comes down to the defensive core, and if you just like sometimes with balanced teams, your defensive core just completely walls them, and you can just win with your 3 Pokemon. You don't even need your offensive Pokemon to do anything. You just win with your 3 defensive Pokemon. Sometimes that happens with balance. Anyways, so I'll go over it anyways. All that stuff aside, so like I said, some of these replays are to showcase the defensive core. Some of them are to showcase Bayonet just being a god, because like I said, I'm the biggest advocate for Bayonet. I think in the entire PU tier, I think I'm the biggest advocate for Bayonet. In the entire PU tier, because back when I used to play, and still while I'm playing, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who's advocating for Bayonet's viability, because I honestly think it's very underrated. I'll have that conversation with anyone who wants to have it. Honestly, because I think Bayonet is viable. I think it has a certain niche over stuff like Misdreavus. But I definitely think it's viable, and I definitely think it's underrated. But anyways, I'll just start with it. So, yeah, enough of all that. Pretty sure this one is just to showcase, this is a Bayonet sweep, boys. This right here is a Bayonet sweep. So prepare your buttholes, okay? So leading off with the Metang, which I pretty much expect him to lead off with, so I lead off with my Grumpig. I can just throw it a taunt because, I mean, why not? He's not going to attack. He goes for the Toxic instead of the Stealth Rocks anyways, which works out pretty nice for me either way. I go into Vibrava because, I mean, why wouldn't I go into Vibrava? He ends up going to Cacturne, which makes me look just like a Dawn, so yeah, beautiful. Free U-turn. He goes to Heat more because obviously I'm not going to Earthquake, I'm just going to U-turn, so fair enough on his part. Floatzel comes in, and I go for Ice Beam, expecting him to try maybe go into Cacturne, but he goes into Avalugg, which is like, it's like, people always bring in Avalugg on Floatzel for some reason, and Avalugg is not, for anyone who doesn't know, Avalugg is not the Floatzel counter. I mean, if it was banded, then it probably would be, but like, if I just went for Hydro, that Avalugg would be pretty much dead, or it would be useless, because it wouldn't have enough health to do anything, it wouldn't be able to heal on anything, like, it would have done, like, a shitload of damage, so, well, a little bit unfortunate right there, but what can you do? Either way, Avalugg coming in is a pretty free switch into my Mawile to get my Stealth Rocks up. He is going to capitalize on that by going into Cacturne, which I don't really see as capitalizing on it, but Mawile's special defense is pretty ass, so I guess it makes sense. And he is sub, and he does have another move after sub that would be able to capitalize, so if I went for Stealth Rocks and he went for sub, he would have went for his other move, which you'll eventually see, and then he would have been in a pretty decent situation. So I guess it makes sense. But I can break his sub with Clefairy. Clefairy's pretty decent, even with the crits. And Heatmore, it's doing 54% with Fire Blast, but because I can heal faster than it, and because it has to like hit Fire Blast through Para, I beat this 1v1 because he's going to be chipping like 5% away from me every other Fire Blast that he hits, so he's not beating me 1v1. Once you paralyze something, just Clefairy just beats it. Metang comes in, that's, like I said, a opportunity to get up my Stealth Rocks. He opts to not get his Stealth Rocks up, I guess expecting me to stay with Clefairy and click the yellow color, like all the, like, anyone with Clefairy does, but, no, I'm just getting my rocks up, because he does have the Avalugg, and he does have the Heatmore, so pretty good opportunity for me to get it up. It gets parried right there. No way he went for HP Ice. I had the Clefairy, there's no way he went for HP Ice, but the fact that when I U-turn he stays in leads me to believe that yes, he is going to HP Ice right there, so that's why I went into Clefairy, and because he's locked into HP Ice, we already saw his specs, I can double out into Bayonet on his Metang coming in, which is exactly what he goes into, so perfectly good for me. He's not going to stay in on my Bayonet, or if he does, he could potentially throw it a Toxic, because he did that on my Grumpig. So I get a sub up right here, and Cacturne is not a counter. Cacturne's going to get OHKO'd by Gunshot if it hits, which unfortunately it doesn't. So we've got a bit of a kind of stalemate, I suppose you call it right here, where we're both kind of trading out subs. This man showing no respect for Gunshot. This man's like, yo, Gunshot? That move doesn't hit. This man thinks Gunshot's Hurricane. This man is insane, I'm telling you. But yeah, I sub a second time because I am faster, and I haven't seen his fourth move, so I think it could be Sucker Punch, because subs free attack with Sucker Punch would actually be a really cool set. I'd run that. That sounds really fun. But his last move is Nasty Plot, as a matter of fact. So anyways, I missed another gunk shot, which basically means, statistically speaking, I'm never going to miss another gunk shot in the entire match. So I really came out on top right here, if you know what I'm saying. But he goes for the Nasty Plot now, and now I'm like, ah, shit, this is not the best situation that we're in. But yeah, so I have to break his sub with Clefairy. I believe I saved Clefairy because I can heal on Heatmore and I can heal on Avalugg. I can't switch into them, but I can heal on them, so I'm pretty sure I saved for that reason. I go into Grumpig because I can take a +2 Dark Pulse with Pulper Berry. He subs a second time, so yeah, that's good for him, I suppose. Luckily enough, I do hit my Focus Blast, but going for, like, I don't know, if the sub didn't really matter. He actually pretty much lost HP off that. He doesn't predict the Focus Blast miss that time, so you know, he's losing his edge in predicting the misses, I suppose you'd say. And I taunt on the Meteor Mash. The reason for that is I know he knows that I'm gonna. I know he knows that I'm probably gonna taunt, and his best play is to Meteor Mash. But I want to bring Bayonet in the next turn, and Meteor Mash is gonna break the sub, and I want to be able to Will-O-Wisp without him being able to Toxic me, because then I can basically get a sub up with Bayonet, and getting a sub up with Bayonet is actually going to be really important, because his Bayonet counters are non-existent. So it looks weird that I taunt, and then it looks like I lost a 50-50, but I wanted the taunt on him no matter what. So you see, after the burn, he only does 17%, so it means I can get a free sub up on him, and he has to basically take a lot of damage on one of his offensive mons, or sack his Metang or something like that. So he brings in Floatzel right here, and Ghost resists our, well, Cacturne. The Cacturne is going to take a lot of damage from Phantom Force, so yeah, he has to break the sub, and then he goes out into his Gabite. Gabite takes 81%. That's 81. That's a lot of damage. I'm not going to complain about 81%. That's a lot of damage. So heavy hit. Go into Vibrava. I don't really need help on Vibrava, and I do take a Dragon Claw. So, and I have the Mawile. Anyways, I don't know if he was like randomly locked into Earthquake right there, or if he was predicting me to double out to Mawile right there, but I do take a Dragon Claw, and I don't, like I said, I don't really need health on this, in all honesty. I heal on Metang if I really need to, but I don't even really need help on this, period. He doesn't have Sucker Punch on Cacturne, that's the big thing. He doesn't have Sucker Punch on Cacturne, so I don't need health on Vibrava to survive Sucker Punch. I can just straight up U-turn with Vibrava. So, basically that. U-turn here on the Avalugg, and I go into Bayonet because I do want to stop the spin. He makes a good play and goes for the Earthquake, predicting my Mawile. And yeah, it does 41%. I will Wisp here on hopefully what's going to be a Recover, and it is exactly that, a Recover, so very nice for me right there. Bayonet is still alive, still in the game. I want to do a little bit of pivoting here, because like I said, Bayonet can potentially do a lot of work right here, but I need to play it a little bit kind of cautiously, I suppose. So I get the Intimidate off of Mawile, and then I Baton Pass right here, right back into Bayonet. With the burn and the Intimidate, he wouldn't be able to kill me, and can't really do anything, and yeah, he goes for the Rapid Spin, and that's perfect for me. Now I'm actually at enough health that I can set up a substitute. And it looks like I'm losing this. It looks like I'm not doing anything. It looks like I'm losing this 1v1, but I actually win this 1v1 based on, first of all, based on PP, because I take 2 turns for Phantom Force, but based on the substitute health that you recover, the 2 turns you recover from Phantom Force, and the turn takes to break your sub, you net gain. I'm actually net gaining HP on him because he has to go for Recover every other turn. And every time he goes for Recover, that basically means another 12% from leftovers, because my sub is still up, he's gonna miss, and I can get 2 turns of leftovers from Phantom Force. So it looks like I'm like it looks like I'm like losing HP overall from this, but because he's burned and because he's taking 25% from Phantom Force, and because I'm recovering so much health from leftovers, I'm actually winning this 1v1 because I can keep subbing, and I'm net gaining a small amount of HP, but I'm net gaining an amount of HP, and I win the PP stall war because I'm eventually going to stall him out of recovers, I guess. But yeah, I do win out on that 1v1 eventually. I mean, no one's gonna have that mental stamina to go that long, but I do eventually win that out. So kill the Heatmore, and then finally, like I said, statistically speaking, we don't miss any more gunk shots. So yeah, we hit all the gunk shots that we need, and that right there, as I said, is going to be a Bayonet sweep because Matang dies to Phantom Force. Avalugg just saw, can't touch me, can't do anything to me. And yeah, it can't touch me, can't do anything to me. I keep a sub up on it, it's not a threat. The only thing that's faster and can break my sub is Floatzel, and Floatzel dies to Gunk Shot. So Floatzel has to come in, Floatzel has to break my sub, and then I kill Floatzel. Anything else, I keep a sub up on. Matang can't break my sub, Avalugg cannot break my sub, and I beat them both 1v1. So yeah, that right there is 100% a Bayonet sweep, because I would have killed the last 3 Pokemon with Bayonet, and a little bit unfortunate he had to forfeit because I want, you know, I kind of wanted to see the Bayonet sweep, you know what I'm saying? But it is still technically a sweep. But yeah, so yeah, Bayonet boys. Am I right? Am I right? All right, got another game right here. This game is, you know, it showcases the power of yellow magic. I guess in tandem with Bayonet, I suppose. There's a lot of kind of quote-unquote hacks on both sides, but like they're not really hacks because they both kind of even out what the outcome would have been, I suppose, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know, I'll just get into it. So I lead off, he leads off with Monferno. I expect either the Monferno or the Relicanthus lead, so Grumpig was my lead of choice. I mean, there's one button to click. There's one button to click when you're leading with Grumpig, and it's the yellow color. We hit our Focus Blast and we get the Spit F drop, and he gets paralyzed, which is really nice for me because it means he doesn't get rocks up. I mean, I defogged on a decent amount of his team, so I guess that's not really that big. Psychic on the Kingler coming in. Kingler's a huge threat to my team, so I'm just going to stay in, and because I have Culver Berry, I'm able to easily take that knockoff and take out one of the bigger threats to my team, because my water resist is, I don't have very many water resist. I technically don't have a water resist, so that's very threatening, so luckily enough, we get rid of that, and yeah, huge threat eliminated. I go into Vibrava, and turns out Life Orb Monferno is really good, so that's really bad, because that can be a 2-hit KO. I go into Mawile here, I take 40%, and that's really bad, but I wanted the Intimidate off so I could roost with Monferno. I was just going to sack Grumpig right here, just so I can go into Vibrava after, but I ended up looking like a god, because I catch some Relicanth and switch in, so that's beautiful. He makes a really ballsy play, and it definitely works out for him. That's a good play by going hard into Cacturn on my Psychic. I mean, Cacturn can't do anything when you hit him up with the yellow, though, so you know what I mean. He doesn't get paralyzed, so I got hacks out right there. Bullshit. No, so he kills me off with the Sucker Punch, and yeah, that's pretty nice. This is a good opportunity to roost up with Vibrava. He goes for Spikes, I guess, protect, either sacking it or, I don't know, I'm not sure. He goes for Spikes right there on my Roost, and then I U-turn out, which I guess, I don't know, Roost was probably my best play anyways, and he did call that play, and it worked out for him. But I do have Clefairy, which walls, like, almost his entire team. Apparently, Cacturn is the Clefairy counter. Is this what he switched into? I thought he was going for Poison Jab, so I wanted to go into Mawile to scout for Poison Jab, but Jesus Christ. Cacturn, look how much freaking damage that does. That's apparently resisted. Mawile is either ass or Cacturn's good, or it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of both, honestly. Yeah, but because he, I guess, doesn't have Poison Jab, I mean, the fact that he had Spikes would, I guess, make sense, means that he doesn't have Poison Jab. I don't think I saw Dark Pulse before, though, so I thought he could be a set that doesn't have, I guess, Dark Pulse and has Poison Jab, Spikes, I don't know. He G-Rays me, and I get parried, and then I crit his Relicanth, so I guess tit for tat right there, you would call it. Monferno comes in right now. I believe I just go hard into Vibrava right here as he goes for Swords Dance. Now, a little bit of a misplay for me right here, because I should have gone hard into Mawile and then back into Vibrava. But I think I overestimated Vibrava's bulk right here. I thought I'd take one close combat from full, well, from, I guess, 95, but I don't, so that was a misplay on my part. I should have gone hard into Mawile, because now I actually have to sack 2 Pokemon, because +2 Mach Punch kills Floatzel after Rocks. So I have to go into Mawile, just get the Intimidate off, and then go out into Floatzel. The fact that he's not a Violite, though, means that I can go for Hidden Power Electric, because it kills at minus special defense, which he's at. It goes into Cryogonal, but Cryogonal's not really a threat, because, I mean, I've got Clefairy, and at this point, Clefairy puts him just in a very weird situation where he he shouldn't be able to do enough to my team where he can really win, because Clefairy can Thunderwave, and yeah, Clefairy can Thunderwave, and Clefairy can take out prevent Monferno from setting up, unless Clefairy gets Thunderwave. Of course. I mean, Clefairy's technically dead right now because it is Thunderwave, but I mean, I 1v1 it. He can't switch into Clefairy anyways, so he has to basically stay in. And like I said, this puts me in a good situation. I don't really want to keep Clefairy in here because I kind of want to force the. I mean, like, I can't even beat Craggle 1v1 anyways without hacks because he just recover on me. So the fact that I have Wish is actually really nice in this battle. Like I said, I've been switching between Wish and Heal Bell on a few battles, but having Wish lets me actually pivot into Bayonet because, like I said, I wouldn't be able to beat Craggle 1v1. He gets parried, but like I said, I had a Wish hanging there, so it didn't matter. I'm just gonna go for Phantom Force. There's no reason not to. It's not like he's a normal type in the back. I just get my kill here no matter what, and I get back into full, and being at full means I can take a hit from Sash Kadabra anyways. If it's not Shadow Ball, like I take a Psychic, which he does go for, so I guess he doesn't have Shadow Ball, which I guess you should have Shadow Ball in your Kadabras anyways. I go for Thunder Wave. Getting the Thunder Wave off, I think, is a little bit more important than breaking the Sash or keeping Clefairy healthy, and, I mean, it works out. I mean, he's parried right now, so at the end of the day, I still win out on that anyways. He parries me, and means I can't heal on him, even though I wall him, which really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And I don't need health on Bayonet. All I need to do is break Kadabra's Sash, and then I win with Floatzel. So at the end of the day, I have no reason not to spam Substitute, in all honesty, because statistically speaking, yeah, he's gonna get parried, which he does. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter right here because Monferno can't Swords Dance on Bayonet, and Floatzel wins anyway just by clicking like Hidden Power Electric. So yeah, the paras don't matter, but I honestly have no reason not to fish for the paras. Like, it's not like if I didn't get the para and I got down to 1 HP and he kept breaking my sub, I would lose, because at the end of the day, all I needed was Kadabra's Sash broken, and then I'd win with Floatzel. So yeah, that's basically it. And I end up getting a second para anyways, so he's just gonna forfeit. But at the end of the day, I kill Kadabra, I kill Monferno, and I win. So yeah, pretty much that's it. Alright, so luckily enough, I actually finished there's actually no forfeits in this battle, so I'll just go right into it. So lead off with Grumpig. He does have the Golem. Better play was to Thunderwave right here, but I just go for damage onto Leafeon, so yeah, that's I guess a bit of a misplay on my part. Better play was definitely to go straight for the Thunderwave, but that didn't work out for me. Bouffalant comes out as I go into Mawile. I didn't really expect him to stay in, but I mean, at the same time, Rocks is always my best play. Go for Stealth Rocks, so that's exactly what I go for. He goes for the Earthquake. I was going to Baton Pass, but there was no way I was going to risk taking another Earthquake just to Baton Pass, so I hard switch out into Vibrava. This goes out into Pelipper. This is a pretty free defog for him, but I do have... People don't have, like, for some reason, people don't scout for Hidden Power Electric on Floatzel, and I don't get that. I don't get that. Like, this was in, like, this was, like, I think this guy was 1500, which is, like, decent rank. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I didn't see it, but I know for a fact this spell was between 14 and 15, but I feel like people should always scout for the Floatzel set, because Floatzel is just so good right now. But Defogger is dead, so Rock's going right back up is going to be huge, because he's got the Rodent, and he also has the Golem, and breaking the Sash is going to be, not the Sash, breaking Sturdy is going to be pretty big as well. And then just, Bouffalant is, like, fat and hard to kill, so more damage on that is just better. So yeah, trading Rocks is perfectly fine. I get the crit with the Psychic, which, I mean, end of the day doesn't really matter. I just needed to break Sturdy so I could bring in Floatzel and get my kill, because I'm Specs, so I kill... Specs Ice Beam does kill after just Psychic damage if it wasn't a crit, because this is Specs Floatzel. Specs Floatzel is a god, I'm saying, dude. Plus Specs Floatzel is just too good. So we do get the Leafeon right there, take it out, which is, I guess, pretty nice. I mean, he didn't really need Leafeon anyways, I suppose. Hard into Clefairy. If he wanted to trick on my Floatzel, I suppose, honestly, he probably should have. But he's kind of had a lot of pressure right there on his team. I should have Thunderwave. I honestly should have on the Bouffalant, but, like, he could have gone to Golem, so that's kind of why. But like I had easy switch-ins to Golem where I have less easy switch-ins to Boufflant. So that was my, I guess, why I should have gone for Thunderwave. At the same time, actually no, because I need to burn this. No, what am I saying? Baton Pass here. So I take way too much damage onto my Mawile. But he is at minus attack, so I'm pretty free to just fire off a Will-O-Wisp right here on anything that wants to come in, really. Unfortunately, I miss on the Golem. Now, I go for Wisp the second time, and he ends up going for Toxic, so it's bad for me, but this matchup I have Heal Bell, so it's actually really good for me that I have Heal Bell this matchup, and I need to start subbing first turn on Golems a little bit more, because I like to go for Toxic, like if they're defensive. This is probably garbage Spit F Golem as well. But yeah, as you see, I do have Heal Bell, and yeah, it's perfect. Luckily enough, I have Heal Bell this match instead of Wish, so that's very nice for me. So I can, yeah, Bayonet is alive again, I suppose. Hard into Rotom, that is the most obvious trick of my entire life that I've ever seen. So just going hard into my Mawile. He can't trick his Scarf back. That's kind of the reason why Mawile is kind of nice. He can't trick his Scarf back to save for re-tricking onto Clefairy, so because I have Iron Head, so he has to Volt Switch anyways. And that works out for him. His best play is to go out and Golem just kind of as a sack pivot anyways. But this is really good because him going out and Golem actually legitimately gives me a free sub on. Well, I mean, if he went for Earthquake, he would break the sub, but I mean, he went for Toxic last time, so and he's burned, so he's most likely gonna go for Toxic again. And he's low enough that I actually can just go for Phantom Force, and Golem's fat, but Golem's not fat enough to take a Phantom Force at 15%. So switches out here, I suppose, into Boufflant, which I mean, what he's gonna do, I get his play. But at the end of the day, he just took 12% on Boufflant that he didn't need to take. That's all he really did. Because I go for Wisp right here. All he really did was take 12% and give me on Boufflant and give me a lot more HP on Bayonet. Like, what he was trying to do right here was force me to go for Phantom Force, and then he died to Burn, and then he can bring Boufflant in the next turn, and then I go for Phantom Force to be immune, and he can break my sub. So it looks like he just like did some stupid plays, but that was actually a really cool play. I resonate with what he did. I respect that play. That was a good play. He was trying to force me to go for the Phantom Force, but I do have Gunk Shot, and I mean quad resist, but he's at 2%. Like, so I mean, it came down to either me missing Gunk Shot or me being forced to go for Phantom Force. Luckily enough, neither of the above happens. He goes into Rotom, and that's gonna, again, force me to either miss Gunk Shot or go for Phantom Force. That forces in, that allows Boufflant to come in for free. I tank any hit from Whiscash, because Whiscash is not very good anyways. If you went for sub, I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, I suppose. It would probably be really bad if he went for sub right there. I think, because I think a lot of them are sub DD, but I go hard into Floatzel because this, well, first of all, I'm faster than Whiscash at +1 by 1 point, which is pretty funny after a Dragon Dance. But if he's like sub Rain Dance, if he's like sub DD Rain Dance, Dragon Dance, sorry, sub DD Rain Dance and then stab move, Waterfall, that would be pretty bad. If he's Dragon Dance, Rain Dance, Dual Stab, that would be pretty bad as well. So I am going to take my chances by going hard into Floatzel. It's not really taking my chances because he is burned and he's only at +1 and I was faster the next turn. And I am going to Trick right here, and that's pretty much my best play. If he went for sub, that would be really bad, but he can't really afford to go for sub because he is burned. He would either have to Rain Dance first or something else. He can't really go for sub while he's burned, or at least I don't think he would. He can't. I don't know if he even has Waterfall, if he even has Earthquake, and he can't lock himself into Earthquake because I've got Vibrava, so yeah, luckily enough, he just goes for Waterfall, and it really doesn't do very much. It was his best chance to win because he had to go off of flinches anyways, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. That's like, you'd have to go off that anyways. But I mean, the resistances from Floatzel, you know, my only water resist is it's gonna pull me out anyways. I get the nice crit. I wonder if that's like, it's like Assault Vest Boufflant, because like that, I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe, I think it is. I think that's Ass Vest Boufflant just by damage. But Bayonet can just burn it, and like I said before, and I'll say it again, Bayonet beats most normal types 1v1, especially when you look at that damage, 28%. That's the most damage you can do to Bayonet with Buflot, and Gunk Shot does like a lot of Gunk Shot does a lot of damage. But yeah, I just go for Bayonet Force to to style it out because you're gonna die to burn anyways. So that is that match.